If we turn our backs and spit in his face, is God still gonna bless the USA?
A few years ago, while researching my family history, I drove to Savannah, Georgia, to interview a great aunt I had never met. She shared stories about my grandfather, my great great grandfather who fought in the Civil War, and other relatives I didn't know. I was captivated and I felt I had formed a new bond with the former generations. Well, stories create connections. That's one of the reasons Jesus shared so many parables. Narratives also motivate us to action. According to Corey ten Boom, memories are the key not to the past, but to the future. Greetings, Patriots. I'm Perry Greene, and this is God in America. Sharing stories can benefit the storyteller and the listeners. As we age, we often reflect on our past experiences, discussing accomplishments and failures. Despite the eye-rolling, our stories may provide valuable insights to children, grandchildren, and other listeners. While most people may not know or care about us and our stories, expressing them to those who matter to us can be gratifying. When reading the Bible, authors often repeat their personal stories. For example, Paul frequently recounted meeting Jesus, which influenced those who heard or read his account. Similarly, we can share how certain experiences have affected us, influencing others without needing extensive knowledge of the Scriptures. In the first 20 verses of Mark 5, we read about Jesus casting out a legion of demons from a man in the Gadarene cemetery. When their boat landed, Jesus stepped out and encountered the demon-possessed man while the disciples stayed on board. After Jesus exorcised the evil spirits from the man, the community came out to urge Jesus to leave. However, the former demoniac requested to accompany the Lord on his mission. I want you to notice Jesus' reply and the man's response. Mark writes this, starting at verse 19. However, Jesus did not permit him, but said to him, "Go home to your friends and tell them what great things the Lord has done for you and how he has had compassion on you." And he departed and began to proclaim in the Decapolis all that Jesus had done for him, and all marveled. In the next chapter, Jesus and the disciples returned to the region, and the people responded differently, which we attribute to the former possessed man telling his story. Notice the difference, and I'm going to read Mark 6:54 through 56. When they came out of the boat, immediately the people recognized him, ran through that whole surrounding region, and began to carry about on beds those who were sick to wherever they heard he was. Wherever he entered into villages, cities, or the country, they laid the sick in the marketplaces and begged him that they might just touch the hem of his garment or the fringes. And as many as touched him were made well. Our ancestors experienced God and told their stories. The pilgrims repeatedly affirmed his providential hand in their journey. They believed the numerous hardships they encountered prepared them for establishing a new form of government outside the king's jurisdiction in Massachusetts instead of landing in Virginia. Once they realized where they had landed, they could not leave despite their best efforts. They stayed, established a unique form of government, and shared the gospel with the natives. They lived up to their Mayflower Compact commitment. George Washington made a profound observation regarding God's undeniable providence to his trusted friend, General Nathaniel Greene, in a letter dated February the 6th, 1783. He wrote, "If historiographers should be hardy enough to fill the page of history with the advantages that have been gained with unequal numbers, that is, on the part of America, in the course of this contest, and attempt to relate the distressing circumstances under which they have been obtained, it is more than probable that posterity will bestow on their labors the epithet and marks of fiction, for it will not be believed that such a force as Great Britain has employed for 8 years in this country could be baffled in their plan of subjugating it by numbers infinitely less, composed of men oftentimes half-starved, always in rags, without pay, and experiencing at times every species of distress which human nature is capable of undergoing. George Washington, Nathaniel Greene, the Continental Army, and the patriots of the independence era experienced God's providence so often that Washington thought no one would believe their accounts. Yet, as they related their stories after the war, and their firm reliance on divine providence was undeniable. They trusted God, He delivered them. Like our forefathers and mothers, you and I have a story to tell. We were lost, then found by the Son of God, who searched for us as a shepherd for his sheep, a woman her lost coin, and a father waiting for his son to return. You have a unique testimony that, when told properly, will glorify God and His Son. I recently had the privilege of participating in the baptisms of two of my grandsons. Their church requires each baptismal candidate to tell their salvation story. Each of us has opportunities to do the same. While your story is unique, it also contains commonalities with others. Your lostness resonates with someone looking for a way out of their chaos. Your encounter with Christ will encourage theirs. An old 19th century church song we used to sing typifies our stories. It is called, "I Love to Tell the Story." I won't sing it for you. You're welcome. But here's the first stanza and the chorus. I love to tell the story of unseen things above, of Jesus and His glory, of Jesus and His love. I love to tell the story because I know 'tis true. It satisfies my longings as nothing else can do. Then the chorus. I love to tell the story. 'Twill be my theme and glory to tell the old, old story of Jesus and His love. Well, thanks for being with us today. Please like, follow, and subscribe to our podcast. And if you have time, check out our website at godinamerica.com. That's the word God, the letter N, America.com. And while you're there, download our app. Until next time, let's keep the light of telling your story burning.